My name is Denise Deelwoud, and I'm the creator of my unique flow grief release method. I am also the founder of the Academy of Transformational Grief Coaching. I'm a widow. I've been a widow since 2009, and I've been doing this work now for 15 years. I've been helping people move forward in their lives after loss. Now, I really wanted to come in today and say and speak to you and really speak from my heart to your heart about grief and about how misunderstood grief is and how we are taught and how we are shown the way that we need to grieve. Now, grief, let me start off with saying that grief is an emotion, right? Grief is love. But grief is not just love. It's not just an emotion. It's that empty feeling of, wow, that person's gone. It's the finality of death. I was with a beautiful friend of mine yesterday who lost her husband on Christmas Eve. And we all knew that he was going to die. He had been sick for a long time. He had been suffering. She had been suffering for a long time. She had been nursing him for years and years and years. And she prayed for the day that God would take him and get him out of his pain. He needs to be out of his pain. She used to say to me so many times, Denise, I can't see him suffering like this anymore. I just wish that he would go home. Well, he did go home. He went home on Christmas Eve. And for her, she said it was a blessing because it was Christmas. She's a naturopath, so she had closed her practice down. She was busy with family. Everybody was around her. Everybody was there, and everybody was helping her keep busy. Okay. And she's now at the stage, and this is what got me thinking about what we do in the flow method and why it works so well and why it's so important now. If you are at the stage of wanting to help others, why it's so important to spread the message and to become a certified flow transformational grief coach is that people are lost. We are lost because the message that we are being given by our doctors, by our therapists, by people who don't really understand what we're going through is that we need to wait for time because time is going to heal. Just wait for time and you'll eventually feel better. You need to go through the 5 stages of grief. Now, that is so outdated. And I know a lot of therapists and counselors are starting to say, look, you don't need to go through the 5 stages of grief. But they've been trained in that way of thinking. The key is to transform your life. You died when your loved one died. You died too. You died emotionally. You didn't physically die, obviously, but you died spiritually. You died emotionally. You're lost. You don't know who you are anymore without that person, without your special person. Who am I? I remember asking myself that question after Martin died. After I sort of came out the fog and I was like, okay, where am I going? What do I need to do here? This is just me now. And the biggest aha moment and the biggest gift that I got out of that was, who the hell am I now? Who am I? Who am I? I am no longer Martin's wife. I am no longer a mother because the kids have all moved out. They got their own kids. Yes, I'm still their mother, but I'm not taking care of little children. And so my journey began. My journey into me. And that is what we do in the flow program. That is the flow method. It's a journey into you. It's not healing your grief. It's nothing to do with grief. But grief and loss has brought you to this time in your life. It has brought you to this crossroads. And what a gift. It's an absolute gift for you to now step up and say, okay, this is not about the grief. What is it about then if it's not about the grief? Why am I feeling so sad? Why am I feeling so empty? What is going on with my life? You see, grief is a normal, natural process to loss. It is. Animals grieve, dogs grieve. I don't know if you've had a dog or somebody that's had another dog or a cat, and the dog or the cat dies, the other animal, the other dog or cat grieves the loss, because grief is natural. But it's not long before they're jumping around and they're playing, and they haven't got over it, and they haven't learned to live with it. God, I hate those two sayings. Oh, you just learn to live with it. Oh, you just get over it. No, you don't. You have to heal yourself on an inner level. That is inner growth. It is reimagining and rediscovering who you are as a person, who you are without your loved one. It's not about, oh, well, I'll just carry on living and pretend that I'm okay. It's about being able to drop that mask, the I'm okay mask. Hey, I wore it for a long time. Denise, how are you going? What's happening? Oh, yeah, no, everything's fine. Wow, you're looking really good. Thank you. So how are you doing? I'm okay. I'm fine. That's a mask that we wear to show the world how strong we are. Because most of you ladies here, and most of you people, if there's, there's not only just ladies here now, you are strong, independent people. You know how to be strong. You know how to soldier on. You know how to keep everybody happy. You know how to serve others. But I want to ask you one question. Are you serving you? Are you healing yourself? Now, if you're at the stage where you go, yeah, I've healed myself, I know it all, blah, 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 I ask you to come with an empty cup. What does an empty cup mean? An empty cup doesn't mean, oh, I need to fill my cup so I can help others. What I'm talking about is come with an empty cup. Come as though you don't know anything. Listen to this live. Listen to the information that you're receiving now as though you've never heard it before. When we come with an empty cup and we don't go, yeah, I know that, we actually open ourselves up for more possibilities, because we now see things in a different way. We hear them differently. They land differently. It's like, oh, I knew that, but I've heard it this way or that way for the first time, and now it makes sense. What we tend to do with grief and with loss is we get stuck in the cliches. We get stuck in the memes. I, for one, hate those memes where, people prey on the grief, and they prey on the pain, and, grief, the harder, the more I'm just trying to think, because I don't even watch them or read them. But one that comes to mind is something along the lines of the harder you grieve, the more you loved. What a load of rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Sorry, but it's a load of rubbish. We grieve that loss of, and the physical touch, the physical being of our loved one. It just is. We are human beings. And that brings me to what we're trying to do then. We try and become human doings. What do I need to do to heal my grief? How many of you on this call, and I know there's a lot of you here, I can see a lot of you, pop your comments in the comments if you want to comment. How many of you here have said, what do I need to do? How do I heal my grief? What's my next step? What do I need to do? There is no doing in grief. There's only being. And this is all the stuff that I teach in the flow method, is how to be that person that creates the change in your life, how to rediscover yourself. It's really, the old person that you were, and I say old person, and that doesn't reflect to age, it reflects to that old being that you were with your loved one, is no longer. That identity is not there anymore. So with grief, we're not only grieving the loss of the loved one, but we're grieving the loss of that life that we had. We're also grieving the loss of the future. And that's where we get stuck in no man's land, because we can't move forward. We can't move back. We don't know where we are. We don't know what to do. Who am I now? What should I do? I don't know what to do. This one's telling me to wait for time. So, okay, I'll try to wait for time. But it's been 4 years and I'm still waiting and nothing's changed. I'm just getting worse. This one says, don't do anything for the first 12 months because you've just got to wait for time because time heals all. And that's when you start going through the 5 stages of grief. And then the next one says, oh my God, the second year is even worse. So you're getting all this conflicting stuff coming at you. People they have no idea. They have absolutely no idea. Now, I've been working with widows and people in grief for the last 15 years. I've healed myself through my own grief, and that's why I started doing what I'm doing. I didn't learn it out of a textbook. I didn't get a certificate in grief. I lived the grief, and then I got the qualifications. How to work with people, how did the psychology, the NLP, how do I move people forward fast? That's how I do what I came to do what I do today. So when you go and see a grief counselor or you see a grief therapist, 9 times out of 10, they've learned a very small little snippet of grief in their training. They've learned from a textbook. They've learned that, okay, grief is this and grief does this, and your client has to be here, and they have to do this in a certain time frame. Newsflash, there is no time frame for grief. You create your own time frame. We choose when we are ready to move forward. Now, you might choose you're never ready to move forward. You might say, I want to stay in this pain forever. I want to be the victim of my grief forever. And I use the word victim because I was a victim. I would tell anybody that I'm a widow, and I could count the days that my husband died, and the hours and the minutes, until I realized, whoa, Denise, you're being a victim. Let's be the victor, let's be the hero. So it's not about the grief. I really want to get that message out to you, ladies, today. This is not about your grief. It is not even about the loss of your loved one. We get triggered. What the death of a loved one does is that it triggers so many emotions within ourselves, within our being. It triggers so many memories of not just of the loved one, but throughout our life. And that's where we get stuck. Is we don't know how to move forward. You see, on a subconscious level, we carry emotions, we carry hurt, we carry trauma on a cellular level within every cell of our body. We all do. It just is. It's energy. It's all energy. So we're carrying that energy with us throughout our life, and we pile it on. As our life goes on, so we pile it on and pile it on and pile it on and pile it on. But it's all subconscious. It's not conscious behavior. We don't know that we're even doing this. And then out of the blue, or maybe not so out of the blue, we lose a loved one. We lose our husband, we lose our child, we lose a parent, we lose somebody so special to us. And what that does on a subconscious level is it brings up and shows a magnifying glass over all your stuff, all your strategies, all your programming, all your beliefs throughout your life. That's where we get stuck. That's where we need help. We can't do this work on our own. I've had ladies say, oh, Denise, that's fine. I'll go and read a book on self-help and I'll be okay. My answer always is, I wish you the best of luck. I read so many self-help books. When Martin died, I thought, you got this, Denise. You know how to be positive. But it's not being positive. It's not even healing your grief. It's not even healing you. It's reimagining your life. Oprah had to reimagine her life to achieve what she's achieved today. She was born into poverty. She was raped. You know the story of Oprah. And if you don't, read her autobiography. Fascinating reading. Oprah says that she got up every single morning and became that person that she wanted to be. But she also had a coach in her corner. She had somebody there that saw her blind spots. So this is what we do in the Flow program. This is why it creates such amazing healing. And the results are fast healing. And I've been criticized. I've had people say, oh, everybody grieves at their own pace. Absolutely, everybody grieves at their own pace. But why would you want to take 5 to 6 years? Why would you want to go to grief share 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 times? Clearly, the first time you went, it didn't work. You want a method and you want to be able to move forward and have the transformation. Yes, transformation, not change. We can change. We can change our shoes. We can change our dress. We can put another one on and take another one on. We can change our identity. We can change our hairstyles. But when we transform, we change. We transform to another being. That is what it takes to truly live your best life after loss. It's doing the inner work on yourself. It's growth. It's learning who you are. It's learning how to love yourself unconditionally. It's learning how to put yourself forward. It's learning how to put yourself first. I have so many ladies, so many, and we are conditioned. We as women are conditioned to put ourselves last. So even in your journey, even in your who am I discovery journey, your reimagining of yourself, if you do not see yourself as number one in your life, before your kids, before your house, before your friends, before your car, before the curtains, before the carpet, before the dog, if you do not see yourself as number one, nothing is going to change. I've seen it all too often. Oh, but I need a new roof. Or, oh, but my car needs tires. And what about you? What do you need? What do you need to be able to move forward? And that's the inner growth. That's the decision. We are only ever, and if you've been with me for a while, you know that I say we are only ever one decision away from changing our life. Now, I don't say that lightly. I don't say that to say, well, just make a decision and get on with it. We can decide, yes, I'm going to do this. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to invest in myself. I want to grow. That's one decision. Or we can say, yeah, no, I'm not ready yet. I'm just going to wait. That's another decision. Which decision do you think is going to bring you closer to healing yourself and healing your life? Which decision do you think is going to help you reimagine your life? The one where you've said, I'm just going to wait and see what happens? Or the one that says, yeah, this is me. This is about me. I'm going to put myself first. I had to do it. My clients have to do it because we are conditioned that we don't matter. We don't matter as much as everybody else. But I'm here to say that you damn well do matter. Stop listening to others' advice, bad advice about, it's hard and I'll never love again and it's not fair. That's all being in the victim. That's all being the victim. Why will you never love again? You might not feel like right now that you want to love again. What happens if a guy walks in and a man walks in and suddenly go, oh my goodness gracious me, what a beautiful person. What do? Do you just go, oh no, I made the decision, I'm never going to love again. Go, goodbye, see you later. Or do you make the decision and go, wow, this could be my second chapter. If you've lost a child, I'm never going to have children again. No, the pain is too hard. I'm never going to fall pregnant. And then you find yourself pregnant. Now you've got a decision to make too. Do you keep the baby? Do you not keep the baby? Do you grieve the baby, the loss of your child, so that this little baby coming in feels the pain? Because they feel your pain. Who else, and this is a great question to ask yourself, who else are you affecting? Who else that you truly love are you affecting by not healing yourself, by not reimagining yourself, by not creating your new future? Who else are you affecting besides yourself? Because this is not just about you. You live in a community. You don't live on an island. None of us live on an island. And when you are not who you are meant to be, I don't know how else to put it. If you are not who you are meant to be around your loved ones, are they going to be who they are meant to be? Or are they going to shrink? Are they going to go, oh, got to tread really carefully. Oh, she's in a bad mood today. Oh, how are you feeling? How are you grieving? Oh, did you cry today? How is it affecting them? Because it does affect them. They might not show it. They might not say it. But it affects them. It affects everybody around you because you're not an island. It affects your health. It affects your memory. It affects, do you have a foggy brain? Do you forget things? Because we are not born or meant to carry so much pain for so long. Because when we're in grief, when we're grieving, when we say, oh my God, I'm in so much pain, and we keep focusing on that, we're in fight or flight. Fight or flight mode. You were never meant to live in fight or flight mode ever. And remember that grief is a normal reaction to loss. We are going to lose loved ones. Just as loved ones are born, we are going to have more babies being born and more people are going to die. It's the cycle of life. But it's how you perceive that and how you decide to move forward. So if you want to know more about the Flow program, because it's exactly what I teach in the Flow program. It's not a program on how to grieve or what the 5 stages of grief. I don't believe in the 5 stages of grief to start off with. I never have and I never will. But it's a program to help you reimagine yourself, to really start going deep if you're prepared to do that. And a lot of people aren't. A lot of people get triggered and they go, no, I don't want to go deep. I don't want to know who I am. I'm fine the way I am. But if you're the type of person like I am, and like so many of my clients are, and you go, well, yep, I really want to reimagine my life now. I'm tired of living the way I have been. I've read all the books. I've done everything. Oh, where do I go? Then book your call with me. Book a call. I'll put a link below my live for you. And the other side of it is if you have and you feel, well, I'm already there, Denise. I don't need to reimagine myself. I have reimagined myself. I've moved forward. Maybe you want to help others do the same. That's why I started the Grief Academy, is because it's a grief coaching academy. It's not very different to what's out there at the moment. And I've seen them all. I've looked at them. I've joined some of them where they teach you how to talk to people in grief. This is teaching you how to transform lives of people who have lost a loved one. Totally, totally different. So if you want to know more about the Academy, we've got amazing ladies in there that are kicking butt at the moment, helping others. If you want to know more about the Academy, or you want to talk to me about the, becoming and healing yourself and growing yourself and knowing more about you, which, by the way, we cover in the Academy as well, because you can't help others unless you've really healed yourself. We can only help others to the level that we're at. Okay. So, drop me a line, book a call. There's a very quick application form to fill out. Fill out whatever you want to put in there. I've got one form for everything. So if it's for the Grief Academy, let me know, or we'll find out on the call anyway. But don't remain stuck. Please don't remain stuck. Don't remain in your grief. This is 2024. Come on, we need to lift the energy in the world. We need to heal. We need to move forward. We need to release the old. Release the old stuff that's happened. We've been through COVID. You've been through lockdowns. You've been through masks. You've been through so much already. So many of you and so many of my clients couldn't attend their loved ones' funerals because of COVID. That's another whole level of grief. So if that is you and you want to speak to me either about healing and growing and rediscovering who you are and reimagining your life, book a call with me. I'm very approachable. It's a free call. I'm very approachable. I don't expect you to, there's no pressure. No pressure from me at all, because this is your life and your decision. But if on the other hand you're going, no, I'm not there. I'm okay. I want to help others. Book a call. Let's have a chat. Because either way, the world needs you to raise that energy now. We need to raise that energy of grief. Grief is, when you get to know me, I talk a lot about energy. Grief is a very low, slow energy vibe. It's right at the bottom part. And I might do a training on how the energy spiral, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and the energy, how it spirals up and how it comes down again. But grief is right at the bottom of that spiral, and joy is right at the top. And we cannot get from grief to joy in one fell. Okay, I'm joy now. I'm feeling joy. Yeah, I'm joyful. Look, I'm so joyful. We have to feel the pain, and that's the flow method: is feel, let go, overcome, and become whole. We have to feel our pain. Now, I've had ladies that go, yes, Denise, I know. Again, I say, bring and come with an empty cup. Feeling your pain is not sitting and crying. Feeling your pain is not bursting out into tears when you hear a song that brings back memories. That's not feeling your pain. That's not feeling your emotions. That's acknowledging emotion. Do you see the difference? That's acknowledging emotion. Feeling an emotion is digging deep into that emotion. And that's the inner work. Where's that emotion? Where's it sitting inside of my body? Why am I feeling this way? Where did it come from? What triggered it? All these questions, that's all part of the coaching. That's all part of what I do. And what, if you decide to become a grief coach, you teach and you learn how to help others do. So either way, book a call with me. Let's have some fun along the way. My mission for 2024 is to raise the planet's awareness on grief. Because I don't think anybody really knows what to do with people who are grieving. And the world is grieving so much. There's so much grief. It's underlying every emotion in everyone in the world. Whether it's the loss of a loved one, whether it's the loss of a job, whether it's the loss of a business, whether it's the loss of a lifestyle. There's so much grief in the world today. And of course, the loss of a loved one, like your husband or your child or a parent or a dear friend, it's heart-wrenching. It's final. When I spoke to my friend yesterday, she said, I didn't expect it to be as hard as what it is. I thought I had grieved. I've been nursing him and caring for him for 3 years. I thought I'd grieved. And you know what I said to her? I said, because grief is final. Not grief, death is final. Death is final. It's silent. The lights go out. When you're nursing somebody that's, her husband was really bad. He was completely out of it most of the time. But like she said, his presence was in the house. Even though he didn't understand her, he couldn't talk to her, he couldn't, communicate with her. He was still there. She could sit by his bedside and she could talk to him. But death, it's like, okay, I can't talk to you. Yes, we can talk to them emotionally, but the physical body is not there. It's that silence. That's where we get stuck. That's where people get stuck. And then we try and move forward. in that same mindset, and it's impossible. We have to change our mindset. We have to grow from within. We have to transform from within to create our new life. We have to reimagine our new life. And for that, we need help. I needed help. My clients need help.